Welcome to Ask Lagos, the platform where your questions meet the people in charge. In this special series, we sit down with commissioners and head of key agencies in Lagos State to bridge the gap between government and citizen. Our goal is simple: to ensure transparency, accountability, and real answers to the issues that matters to you. This is your opportunity to hear directly from the decision makers about policies, projects, and plans shaping the future of Lagos. So, what do you want to ask Lagos? Today, we are focusing on something that affects every Lagosian: your right as a consumer. In a city as dynamic as Lagos, consumers are constantly transacting. But what happens when a product or service doesn't deliver or was promised? What protection do you have? And how is government holding businesses accountable? Today, we are joined by the General Manager of the Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency, Afolabi Solebo Esquire. He is charged with ensuring that you get value for your money, whether you are shopping online or buying from a physical store.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Can you briefly explain what Lascopa does and why it's important for every Lagosians to be aware of what you do?
Yeah, thank you very much. The Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency, Lascopa, is an agency established by 2015 law, and it is a regulatory body established by law to ensure that consumers in Lagos State get value for money and also get satisfaction for goods bought and also for services rendered, whereby any consumers feel that their rights have been infringed upon. It is also their right to ensure that they seek redress, and that is why the agency was established to protect consumers against any form of hazardous, expired products, substandard products, and exploitation by service providers and business owners.
Many Lagosians doesn't know their right when making decisions. What right does every Lagosians have in Lagos as consumer?
Yes, first and foremost, consumers must know their right to purchase, their right to know where to buy goods, their right to also seek redress where they believe that any of their rights have been infringed upon, their rights to make choice where to buy products and whichever products to buy. Though, in as much as consumers will have rights also, they also have responsibilities, which is not limited to personal decision, the right to be careful when you want to buy a product, the right to ensure that the product you are buying has product information. That is very key, particularly products that we consume, that it is imperative that it must have a NAFDAC number, the manufacture date, the date that that particular product will not be good for human consumption again. So those are the rights and responsibilities of consumers.
So, what are the most common consumer complaints you received so far in Lagos, both online and offline?
Yeah, they are numerous. I want to say, as we sit here now, you yourself can testify to the fact that when you were coming in, you saw lots of people. People sit here every last Thursday of the month to address issues as regards their electricity, be it IKDC or EKDC. And you can see the numbers of people, the representatives of the IKDC, they are there attending to people. And that is how we're able to recover over 115 million naira as credit adjustment from IKDC alone. Then from EKDC, we're able to recover over 29 million naira for consumers in Lagos State. Then also another area worth mentioning is the issue of banking. Like people complain about erroneous transfer, people complain about using the ATM and not dispensing. We've recovered over 38 million naira from different banks for consumers in Lagos State, and you know that goes a long way. That is why the agency keeps saying that do not suffer in silence. Lodge your complaint and the agency will attend to it. Also, people also lodge complaint about going to a supermarket and the prices of their product is different from the prices when they want to pay at retail. And we keep asking Lagosians to come lodge your complaint. Do not just sit down and say, we leave it to God. Are we going to be talking about the issue of insurance where premium are supposed to be paid at the end and the money were not paid to the insured? So those are the things that people complain about. Is it about buying electronics? And that one is very common because people buy television sets, they buy air conditioners, they buy refrigerators and stuff. And we are saying that those products has warranty and they must not be substandard in nature. And with that alone, we recovered over 40 million naira for consumers in Lagos State through refund. Or sometimes when we'll talk about the issue of replacement. So those are the areas I can remember for now. Also, another area that is common now is the area of airlines. A lot of people complain about cancellation of flights and all manners of things. And from different airlines, both local and international, the agency have recovered over 37 million naira and $8,400 for consumers in Lagos State.
With the rise in online shopping, especially on social media platforms, scams are becoming more frequent. So how is Lascopa adapting to protect Lagosians in the digital space?
Yeah, thank you. This is an issue that we've been addressing at least for over 4 years that I've been at the helm of affairs at Lascopa. And our own, our own policy to the consumers doing online business is to always insist on payment on delivery. I know some of the companies may not find it very funny because we also believe that it's not everybody that does business online that are genuine. Because how come that people are paying before delivery and at the end of the day they are yanked off, they delete them immediately from the platform so they won't be able to get back to them. So we keep insisting on payment on delivery. And sometimes when you want to make payment before delivery, you have to ensure the particular company you're dealing with has a store or an office. I mean, something physical that you can get an address, you can get phone number of somebody. Super adventure. You come here and lodge your complaint to know where to address the letter of invitation to. But in as much as those ones that we know that they have physical address, we've recovered over 28 million naira for consumers in Lagos State as regards what I ordered for is different from what was delivered to me. But we always insist that it's better for you to lose that money for delivery than losing your bulk money, maybe 100,000, 200,000 that you're supposed to use in payment for the product.
Can Lascopa actually take action against online vendors who fail to deliver substandard products to consumers?
Definitely. That is how I told you, that is how we'll be able to recover a whole lot of money from them, because particularly those of them that have a physical address. Because we always go ahead and do more of investigation as permitted by the law that established this agency. And most times we always encourage people to come and lodge their complaint. You will not appreciate it except you trust the system. And it's only when you trust the system that you're sure that your rights as a consumer will be protected when it comes to the issue of what you ordered is actually different from what was delivered to you. It's just the same thing like people make a lot of adverts on social media as regards hotels and apartments. And at the end of the day, when you get to the place, they will tell you have no right to cancel. No, they don't do. There's nothing like no refund policy. There's nothing like you cannot cancel if you are not satisfied with what you are seeing on ground. On that issue alone, the agency has recovered over 23 million naira for consumers in Lagos State.
What about those who don't have, the online vendors who don't have physical address?
Yes, that is why we keep educating the public. We keep encouraging the public. It's better for you when you lose just the money for delivery. Most of these people doing online business, particularly the genuine one, they will not mind you seeing that product and making payment to them. Even myself, I sat down here one day that I wanted to buy a ladder, and what the person at the other end was telling me, they have to drop 10% before they bring the ladder. I said, is it how you bring the ladder, I pay you? And lo and behold, they stopped communication. And had it been I'm not enlightened, I don't know about my rights as a consumer, I will just go ahead and pay the 10%, and the next thing is that they will just block you. So we keep educating and encouraging people through our public enlightenment programs here and there, that people should ensure that whatever they're buying online, if there's no physical address or phone numbers that we can easily reach, then they should avoid payments before delivery.
Fantastic. So, as Lagosians, what step should a consumer take if they feel cheated or defrauded in a transaction?
Yes, there are different steps that consumer can take to lodge a complaint at the Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency. And first and foremost, if you are on all social media handles, be it on X, be it on Facebook or Instagram, if you follow us on Lascopa, Lascopa on Instagram, Lascopa on Facebook or X, as I speak to you, people are lodging complaints, and those complaints are being taken immediately. And also, you can also call any of the numbers, and immediately at the reception, people will take from Monday to Fridays, 9 to 6 p.m. And also, we have an email address where people can email us at lascopa@lagosstate.gov.ng. Or there are some of our offices you can walk into, particularly the head office here at number 2B Soji Adepega Close, off Allen Avenue. And we also have annex offices in Ikorodu, Ikoyi Obalende, Bariga, Badagry. And before this year runs out, we'll also be opening our offices in Ekpe, Isolo, Egbe Idimu, and Ojo local government.
In addition to that, Lagosians are somehow very interesting people. And is it that are they going to lodge a complaint in a formal way, or that they can just send a message, they can just send a text message, a DM to all these social media apps and the rest?
Whichever way you want to lodge a complaint, once we see the content that is a complaint of a consumer against herring manufacturers, service providers, or business owners, we quickly take it up and communicate with you, maybe asking you for further details, asking you for receipts, asking you for any means of transaction between you and the other party.
So once a complaint is filed, how long does it typically take to get a resolution?
If it's a complaint that doesn't have other things attached, like we need to get your receipt, we need to get the phone numbers of the other party, it's immediate. Within 2-3 days, the other party will be communicated to immediately, and letters of invitation will be sent.
Can you give us an example of a complaint that has taken longer for you to get resolution?
Yes, especially the online complaints that has to do with online transactions. We want to ask you, which way did you communicate? If it's online, did you pay? Yeah, paid. Where is your receipt? Through the receipt, a whole lot of investigation has to go on. Probably if it's a company, we want to go ahead and do investigation to actually inquire if that company actually exists, if the address given does exist. Because sometimes too, they give us wrong addresses and we get there, maybe it's a gated estate and we're not allowed to, and it may take a longer time. But if it's a straightforward complaint that we can easily get across to the respondent, it's easier. It doesn't take maybe less than 2-3 days, and in the coming week, the parties will be here for mediation and conciliation, and if not possible, litigation.
All right, Lagosians would like for you to share examples of high-profile interventions so far.
I will say one or two about automobiles. There's a particular automobile company that sold vehicles, and those vehicles that ordinarily should have a 3 years or 4 years warranty, and within few months started developing a problem. And we said that the product were tested and they are found to be defective. And we asked for a refund, and they said they don't do refund, and there's nothing like no refund policy. We sat down to actually looked at the law and everything, both the Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency law and also the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Act of Nigeria, and we eventually they were forced to part with to do refund for the consumers, and they were very happy. And just recently, people came into to, to Lagos State for this dirty December and everything. And a lot of people were complaining online, and some of them were directed here, and some of them found their way here. And the hotels and apartments were saying they don't do refunds. But we collected refunds for all of them, going up to over 13 to 14 million naira. And also, is it the issue of banking? We recovered a whole lot for banking, that people doing erroneous transfer, making use of ATM and not dispensing, where we seek for evidence. And if there's no evidence from the hearing bank, we always insist on refund. If your machine did not dispense cash for the consumers, and there's no evidence to show us that the machine actually dispensed, there are so many like that.
All right, so what are the penalties to be imposed on businesses that violate consumer law?
Yes, actually, the 2015 law talked about fines as a first-time offender, particularly when it comes to the issue of selling expired products in a supermarket or grocery stores. The first-time offender will pay 500,000 naira, and the second-time offender will pay 750,000 naira, and it even carries a prison sentence, 1 year imprisonment if you're not able to pay. So also, what we have a new law about 2024 law now, that the first time offender, it depends on how big your supermarket or nature of the point, is 5 million naira now. That's why we keep educating people that it's better for you to check your product before opening, because there won't be any excuse. Like they say, ignorance of the law is no excuse. There won't be any excuse for you when expired products are found in your supermarket.
So what collaboration are you putting with e-commerce platform markets or trade associations to ensure better compliance with consumers?
Yeah, we did that. This we've been doing even before now with other relevant agencies, even the Standard Organization of Nigeria, the NAFDAC, the Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, the Lagos Chambers of Commerce and Industry, even the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, the NCC, the National Communication Commission, and others, the judiciary, the police. So we are in synergy with people that with agencies and parastatals that we know that has one or two things to do with the rights of consumers, in order for us to be able to have that synergy, so that we won't be encroaching on any of all those bodies. That's why we need to collaborate, because we give an example. Sometimes when we go out, some buildings we have where pharmacy and merge with supermarket, and because of doing our monitoring, we may find expired products in the pharmacy, which is not within the jurisdiction of the agency. So, but because of the synergy we have with the NAFDAC, we can easily escalate to them, and steps will be taken. And even sometimes when we need to conduct a test on some product, we need Standard Organization of Nigeria, NAFDAC.
All right. Some Lagosians feel that reporting issues to government agencies doesn't yield results. We all know this happens all the time. So, what are you doing to build public trust and improve responsibility?
Yes, I said it in the course of, I said trust the system. If the agency have treated 10,617 matters, and 10,076 of such cases have been resolved amicably, and we have about 371 ongoing, you see, just trust the system. For Lagosians to believe that we are working around the clock, since we are saddled with that responsibility of protecting them against unscrupulous trade practices and exploitation, they can as well visit or follow us on Instagram and Facebook and see the number of cases that we've treated, the number of people that have given testimony, that they will be shocked. You can imagine somebody walking in here and telling us that he gave his vehicle, a Range Rover, to a very notable car mat to auto mechanic to fix, and what he took there was a gearbox problem, and the car actually came back with an engine problem, and we insisted, and the engine of the vehicle was replaced to the tune of 40 million naira. So if the person has sat down and decided to suffer in silence, there's no way he would have known that he can seek redress and actually get justice.
So what are the plans you are putting in place to ensure awareness for the public?
Yes, we're doing publicity in our local radio and television, and also recently we're in synergy with National Youth Service Corps, because we actually go to the camp, and also the consumer education department also go to schools, and we're doing a lot this year, because we intend to create consumer clubs in the 3 levels of school, that is the primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions in Lagos State, so that we'll bring the agency closer to the people. Also, we intend to establish to be in all local governments in Lagos State. Presently, like I said earlier, we're in Ikoyi, Obalende, Badagry, Bariga, and Ikorodu. But before the year runs out, we'll be in Epe, Isolo, Ibe-Idimu, and Ojo local government, so that it will bring the agency closer to people. There won't be any complaint that, I can't be coming all the way from Ajangbadi to come and lodge complaint in Ikeja. But if you have somewhere closer to you, like Badagry or Ojo local government, you can easily walk in there and lodge your complaint, or peradventure, you can also lodge your complaint online. So those are the things that we're putting in place, and a whole lot is going on to ensure that consumers are aware of what we do as regards the rights of the consumer.
So personally, since you been the GM of Lascopa, do you have any experience whatsoever with anybody infringing on the consumer rights? I think to me, the people that are closer to you, maybe family, friends, or relatives, that you can share with us.
Yeah, Mr. Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Solebo, has made it very clear that breaching consumer rights in Lagos State is a no-no. That is, no matter whose ox is got. Yeah, I've had different experiences, and people close to me that they will call me. And there was a particular incident in the course of monitoring and enforcement. My own close friend and sisters supermarkets were found that some goods were found there that are expired. And she came here, we sat down together and everything. I insisted that she must pay fine. She looked at me and said, yeah, they were found in your store. If I cannot, it starts from home. And today, she's not really too pleased with that. But you see, when you're saddled with responsibility, no matter who is involved, no matter who's up to God, because it may be your own family somewhere that will go and consume things that will cause grievous bodily harm or even death. So we have to do the job accordingly. People have called me on several occasions and said, I'm not the monitoring and enforcement. My own is the GM. You cannot absorb their power of what they do.
Fantastic. So at what level does an issue have to degenerate for the agency to take it to court?
Yes, thank you very much. You see, there are sometimes, that is why the law that established the agency talked about mediation and conciliation first. It doesn't mean that when you're trying to mediate, you look away from the issue. You're trying to mediate is because you want to let both parties to know their rights under the consumer protection laws. Like, the product you're selling, ordinarily that product is defective. If it is not defective, how come somebody bought a phone within 1 week and the phone it's not working fine and everything. And some of them will say, okay, I know, and the phone is good and I've sold, I don't do refund and everything. I say, okay. If you're not doing a refund, then we'll be going to court to go and establish a case. So in a situation like that, the agency goes to court. Adventure where mediation and conciliation fails, the agency goes to court on behalf of the complainant free of charge. Even when you lodge your complaint, till the time the matter is concluded, you're not expected to give anybody any money. To lodge your complaint, while your complaint is going on, even after your matter must have been resolved one way or the other. So, and also sometimes too, we may need to go to court where maybe any of our staff, maybe one happened recently, this week, that a staff went to drop a letter somewhere and the person was assaulted. So we had no choice than to refer it to the appropriate authorities. The police went to the place, made arrest, and they are going to prosecute. So things like that need not go to court. That's why we have the legal department of the agency.
So lastly, finally for me, definitely I know that there are going to be challenges. So what are the challenges you are facing?
Yeah, well, part of the challenge is that sometimes there are still some recalcitrant people that we invite that refuse to come. We working on that seriously, and we will not hesitate to seal, even if it's a store or an office, because the government agency cannot invite you. If you are sure of what you've done, there's no point. It's a judge, we sit down, we talk about it. But if the agency invites you and you refuse to come, then you should be able to face the law. So those are kind of, or maybe any of our staff is being molested or assaulted. So those are the challenges, and also we also have some challenges that definitely I will not want to talk about here. But particularly, we would love a situation whereby we are in all local government offices, but we are still having challenges with some of the chairmen of the local government that are not ready yet to give us an office, and we communicated to them in different ways, and we also told them about the advantage of the agency being in their domain, being in their local government, so that people in that local government can benefit from what the Lagos state government is doing, because the services being rendered by Lascopa is of good quality and it's free.
So what's your message to Lagosians who feel frustrated or helpless?
Yes, I will start by saying that Lagosians, consumers in Lagos State, should trust the system. And if you buy goods or if services is being rendered to you and you are not satisfied, please do not suffer in silence. The first thing to do is just to complain. Lodge your complaint through any of our social media handles, through our phone calls, through walking into any of our offices, and lodge your complaint, and you will be rest assured that if you have done your responsibility as a consumer, that is, your right must be protected by Lascopa. So don't sleep on your right. Speak out, seek redress, and get justice.
I believe that all this money are being given back to the consumers.
Yes, we recovered on their behalf. So immediately it's been transferred back to them, or checks have been given to them, and we have evidence to that effect.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
So I believe you want to reveal out some numbers.
Reach out to Lascopa through our phone numbers. We can be reached on 091 5389 4878. 091 5389 4878 or 081 2499 3895. 081 2499 3895. So with those numbers, you can easily call us, make inquiries, lodge your complaint, and also we can lodge your complaint on lascopa@lagosstate.gov.ng, lascopa@lagosstate.gov.ng, or lascopa@gmail.com. So those are the avenues and ways by which complaints can be lodged to the Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency, apart from walking into any of our offices or on social media handles.
All right, thank you very much, GM.
Thank you for having me.
So there you have it, Lagosians. You've heard directly from the decision makers. This is Ask Lagos, where your questions meet the people in charge.
Ask Lagos, building a better Lagos, one conversation at a time.